What's up, good people, and welcome to T's Corner. Also, welcome to the YouTube channel, T Word. Thank y'all for tuning in. We've got some great content for you today. I'm going to go ahead and cover, looks like I'm doing the AFC East divisional sleepers and also the NFC sleepers and a little bit of T's Corner content. We're going to talk about the New Orleans Saints, things like that. So we'll get right to the division sleepers. We'll start with the AFC East. And my sleeper team in the East is going to be the Buffalo Bills. If you listen to the power rankings, you know that I don't have them going to the playoffs, but I definitely have them making some noise in their division. And definitely in the AFC, they'll probably play spoiler to a lot of teams. I can see where Rex Ryan is going to have that team ready week after week. The only thing that I see that's going to impede them will probably be the success of the New York Jets. I just think they're set up a little bit better to go a little further and maybe sneak into the playoffs. Now you've also got New England in the division and then also the Miami Dolphins. And I don't think the Dolphins are going to do good at all, but I definitely see the Bills going no less than 9-7 and even 10-6 possibly. And as you all know, in the AFC East or just in the AFC period, 10-6 probably doesn't get you a ticket to the playoff, to the playoff dance. Coming from a division like the AFC East, they don't field a lot of teams at any given time. Exciting to me, and why I think that they'll perform well is because they've got a good core on offense. You got Sammy Watkins, you have LaShawn McCoy, and then you've got Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. That's a formula for success in itself. And then the defense, in spite of losing Mario Williams, you've still got a stout defense. The only problem that they'll probably run into is looking for Marcel Darius as he goes through his drug rehabilitation program. I'm thinking he's going to be out somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks. He'll probably miss 8 actual weeks of the season, so he'll be back just in time enough for them to try and make a playoff push. But again, I just don't see him getting over the hump and getting into the playoffs. I can really see them going by 3 because I see New England beating them twice. They'll probably split with the Jets, and then they'll beat Miami twice. Miami lost enough to where I just don't think they're going to be very competitive this year, and they lost things on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So in the division, you're going to see the Bills have a really strong get a hump. Next year, Tom Brady's a year older, Hoodie's a little older. They've had another chance to get used to what they're doing in Buffalo. I can see them getting into the playoffs and making a really strong push. Maybe not winning the division, but definitely being a strong wild card at like 11-5 or something like that. Now, the other side for division sleepers, we're looking at the NFC West. In that division, you have the Seattle Seahawks, Arizona Cardinals, you've got the St. Louis Rams, and then you've also got the San Francisco 49ers. This is probably the hardest division to pick a sleeper for because I feel like it's boom or bust. You've got 2 teams way up at the top, according to my power rankings, and that's Seattle and Arizona. And then you have at the middle, closer to the bottom, and the San Francisco 49ers and the Rams. But if I had to pick one to be a sneaky sleeper pick, I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. And that's just based on the solid young core that they have. You got Tavon Austin, Jared Goff. You also have Todd Gurley, of course. And then on defense, for whatever reason, they just keep reloading and putting quality players at every position, be it safety, corner, linebacker, or even defensive line. So they're good at every level, and that's going to take a lot of pressure off the offense to come down and score every time they touch the ball. Now you can afford to get a couple 3-and-outs and know that the defense is going to get you the ball right back. To me, Jeff Fisher has all the tools he needs to keep his job. Now, if he comes short of 8-8, y'all need to get that dude up out of there. I mean, he's not getting it done. He's got the talent on his team, and they're just not performing. So you got to move on to somebody else. I mean, look at what happened to Lovie Smith in Tampa Bay. He really started to bring that team around, had a really good draft, a really good off-season, and they just didn't get the wins into the win column, and they got rid of him really quick. So Jeff Fisher should be on a super short leash. This is a team that's newly moved to LA. The pressure is going to be on, the spotlight is on because you transferred so far away. Everybody's going to expect your team to perform. So the next part is, obviously I'm suited up, is game day. So we get ready to go ahead and kick some Steeler butt down there in the New Orleans Superdome. I hope they do well. The good thing about the game today is that the starters will play quite a bit of time. So instead of getting in for a couple series or for a quarter, we're looking to see them play deep into the third quarter, which is really good. We'll get a good, strong look at a lot of rookies. You've got Mike Thomas. You've got a couple second-year players that are going to get more time to contribute because they are being thrust into the starting lineup. And then we'll get to figure out how long Brandon Coleman is going to keep his job. Truth be told, one of those young receivers is going to bump him down to like number 6. And Saints typically carry about 5 guys. He's not practice squad eligible. I can see him losing his job pretty quick. So if I had to predict 5 receivers, I'm going to go with Mike Thomas, Brandon Cooks, Willie Snead, Tommy Lee Lewis, and I'd even give a nod to R.J. Harris over Brandon Coleman. They've done more, and he's given opportunity after opportunity. He's just fading out of the spotlight. So you gotta get that dude out of there and move on. And I really like the impression that I got from him when he first came to the team. It's just, you got to put up or shut up, and he's not putting up. On the defensive side, in spite of losing Sheldon Rankins and the Saints releasing Keenan Lewis, you've got a good young core of players on that team. You've got 3 second-year defensive backs that would potentially be starting in your nickel package. You've got P.J. Williams, who had a nice interception against the Texans. You've got Delvin Breaux, who had a really good season, locked up Julio Jones last year. You've got Damian Swann. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be a key contributor. Then you got the Dixon brothers. They're still there. They'll be good special teams guy. Eric Harris. You've also got Von Bell in cover and play safety, and he's getting a lot of snaps. So if anything goes wrong with Jairus Byrd, he's going to step in. And while we talk about Byrd, it's been good things this year. He's healthy, and he's performing at the level that the coaches expect. And that's promising for Saints fans and football fans in general to see a player of his caliber come back to 100% and do well. Flipping back to the offensive side of the ball, Drew Brees. As long as you have Brees on your team, you have a chance to win in every game, every week. And with the way that he mentors the other players at his position, Luke McCown was able to step in last year and play in place of Brees and almost pull out a win. So you know that Sean Payton works with his quarterbacks, and he gets those guys ready week in and week out. Another couple positions that we're going to be keeping an eye on today is offensive line. You've got second-year player Andrews Pete, who's underperforming, but I think he's getting a raw deal because the Saints have not put him at one position and let him develop and mature at that position. He's played right tackle at times. He's played right guard. He's also played left tackle. How can you learn your job when you're flip-flopping that much? If you were just a regular worker and, your job was to, put mail in the mailbox, and then they say, hey, we need you to go on the roof and hang shingles. You're not going to be prepared to do that no matter how often you've seen somebody else do it. So you're going to look lost, and you're going to have a hard time succeeding. So what I would recommend is that they give him an opportunity to play one position and develop there and do his best and learn the technique and the details of the game. From the coaching standpoint, I like what I see. There's big news coming out here in New Orleans with Aaron Glenn. He's a secondary coach, and you can see his impact. And I'm a big defensive back guy. So when I see train guys and get them prepared, I get excited about that because I know that the team is going to benefit the most. Much like Dwayne Akina and at the University of Texas down in Austin, Glenn knows what he's doing, and he knows how to teach the guys well. There's a report out about him telling the guys to use their eyes the right way. When they're playing zone, stop looking at the receiver and see what the quarterback is doing. He's going to tell you where he's going with the ball. When you're playing man, forget about the quarterback and read the receiver. His eyes will tell you where the ball is going. So he worked with Breaux, he worked with Williams, and the guys are really adapting to that. He's taking Ken Crawley, who only had 3 interceptions his whole college career. This guy's picked off Drew Brees 2 or 3 times. And then, he's had some really good pass breakups in game situations. Also, Devontae Harris, same type of thing. He didn't have a lot of interceptions in college, went undrafted. Now he's picking off passes on the regular in practice and in scrimmages and everything. So you can see that Aaron Glenn is doing what he needs to do. Now, obviously, in most situations, the defensive coordinator is going to get credit for the turnaround in the secondary. So Dennis Allen, he played DB as well. He's been a DB coach for a long time, so he's going to get all the credit. But don't overlook what Aaron Glenn is doing. And expect that every DB that comes into the program here going forward is going to have the benefit of a quality coach preparing them week in and week out. You just can't beat that. I've done some coaching, and I know that when you get talented players and you take quality coaching and put it together, that's where superstars come from. They go from being contributors to high quality players that are, highly sought after. And I see defensive backs starting to develop in New Orleans. I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to see these players in a regular season situation where they have 4 quarters to perform. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this segment. I thank you all for tuning in to T's Corner. We appreciate your support. Remember to go ahead and hit that like button right below. Hit that subscribe button right below. And be sure to tune in for the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.